Next up, yes, she looks at me like this. This is a young lady that in Plano, Texas, her mom was a single mom and called me, and for 3 years I picked her up from school at 3 o'clock because I was a realtor, and realtors don't have a schedule. So I got to pick her up and take her home. So she's one of our family. She really is. You guys don't know that. I mean, she's like one of my daughters. Miss Ashley Golladay.
Thank you, Gene. He is like a second dad to me, and I don't say that about a lot of people. I have a lot of moms in my life, but not a lot of dads, so he is definitely one of my favorites. So my name is Ashley Golladay. I have been at EXP for almost 2 years with my license, but I see a lot of new faces, so some of you might not know that I am the EXP Growth Finance Specialist, and this role didn't really exist before. Dave, actually, it took him a year to find me, and so I started in April with Sean and Amy Weaver, the Vice Presidents of Growth, and so my role is to help you guys build and grow and get with brokerages and teams and show them exactly what the difference is between what their current structure is and what it would look like at EXP. So if you are not necessarily a numbers person, which a lot of agents are not, so my mom was an agent when I was a kid, my dad's a programmer. So I have a unique ability to speak both languages and be able to adapt and go, well, this person is super high D, so I'm just gonna go boom, 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 boom. Or this person's super high I, so I gotta get in the emotional thing with them, right? So if you guys are struggling or have kind of hit a wall and they're a big team or brokerage, the reason it's so important to get them to provide a little bit of data on the front end, because a lot of people will message me and say, hey, I've got a group of 20 people and they do 600 transactions and 40 million and whatever their numbers are, right? Well, I can divide that and average it out, but that is not gonna give an accurate comparison between what they're each doing now, what every single agent is netting, versus what every single agent would actually do. Because some of those agents are gonna be way higher, and some of them are gonna be way lower. So if it's a brokerage, then I'm might be over ballparking what the broker is going to make and expect to do. So that's not fair to them. So I really try to make them, send their per agent production, GCI units, volume, and then what their caps are, what their splits are, so that I can legitimately go in and go, okay, if we were gonna issue a 1099 today, right, this is what your current amount would look like. And so I'm gonna kind of show you a couple examples. Maybe, there we go. Okay, so this is a group. I don't know if you can see the color very well, but it is green. And so their current situation, if they came over and did a mega icon team, the broker, the team leader, is gonna make $235,000 more than what they currently do. And then every single team member is going to make more money. So this was a super easy conversation, right? Everybody wins. And so to be able to show them exactly what it means to them, not just to the team leader or the broker owner, because there are people we've gotten on the phone with and they're like, yeah, I don't care about my agents. I just want to know what it means to me, right? And so that's really telling of what their goals are. And so this was one that everyone was a win, right? Well, this one we did a couple weeks ago. He's actually in Dallas with us too. This broker owner is actually gonna lose $64,000 in the first year. But every single one of his agents is gonna net gain. So you know what? He said, I get it, I see the vision, I'm here for the long term, and he's coming over. He's making his announcement this week. So this is what my role is to show you guys exactly what this looks like, instead of just making an assumption and going, oh, just trust me, right? Just, oh, it's gonna be amazing, you're gonna be an icon agent, just trust me, right? Or this is what it's done for me. I've got 500 people in my downline, I'm making $25,000 a month or $200,000 a month or whatever my number is, right? Just trust me. No. Then what I also do is I have a rev share calculator where I can go in and give them a realistic expectation of what their first year of rev share looks like, what their third year and their fifth year, and what those growth rates might be. So instead of just, oh, I just know you're gonna kill it, right? And my job is to be really conservative. I'm not gonna go in and just blow it out and go, oh, in 2 years you're gonna make $1 million a month like Brent, right? Because not everybody's a Brent. So I take where they're coming from. If they're starting with 10 or they're starting with 50 or 100, Gary Meek, you were one of my people. They came over with 180 agents, and we went through multiple times until you guys felt comfortable about what this meant to the agents and what it meant to them as the broker owners. So that is my job here. And I spent 16 years at Keller Williams, and I was an MCA for about 4 or 5 years. And then I started traveling all over the country. And what would start out as a financial need, I would ultimately end up, consulting for the entire brokerage, and I would fix all of the problems. And so really, I encourage you guys to, if you're not able to, or you feel like you can't call that broker owner, right? You're like, I don't, they're making a bunch of money. Why would they want to leave, right? I assure you, they're in pain, right? There is a problem that they are experiencing, and we can solve it. So if you can't figure that out, then come to us. I work with Sean and Amy, and we're here to, help them solve those problems, whether it's with training or compliance, right? For a brokerage especially, it's kind of like just feeling rode hard and put up wet. For those of you who are not in leadership anywhere else and just see the agents on the front side, being in leadership is rough. There's a lot of you guys, and there's not very many of us. So that's why Chris was saying, team leaders last 18 and a half months. That is 100% true. I used to think team leaders got paid way too much money. And then I was like, yeah, no, you couldn't pay me enough money to do that job, right? So I get that, and it's really hard when you are constantly all day, every day. It's just never enough. It's never enough. And so to be able to show them a model where they don't have to walk away from what they currently have, right? We can show them a hybrid and say, okay, you're going to run a team here and have a brokerage within a brokerage, and your opportunity, and that's the hardest part, is I can't just say, hey, if they're a flat transaction fee brokerage, then they're going to do this. Or, hey, if they're a 70-30 cap with 20,000, then they're going to do this, because everybody's coming from a different situation. So I have to know where they're coming from before I can tell them where they're going. So that's the goal. That's what I do all day, every day. If you guys have any questions, I am going to keep it short and sweet, but that is my role. And Matt asked me last night at dinner, he said, what's your superpower? What do I not know? And I think it's truly just being able to, speak those languages and listen and go, hey, maybe it's not about the numbers, and let's switch gears for a second. But really trying to figure out what are those problems they're experiencing and how can we solve them and get them out of those pain points. So that is pretty much everything I have. Do you guys have any questions for me? My name is Ashley Golladay, and you can find me on Workplace Chat, and it's Ashley Golladay # Beyond the Napkin, which is my ode to Jean. So my last name is Golladay, and I have 2 profiles because I'm an agent, so don't use the agent one. Okay. Yes, Beyond the Napkin. Yes, Marianne.
You'd need from a broker, just so that we know what you're looking for?
Yes. So if you guys send us a workplace chat and just say, hey, I've got this team or I've got this brokerage, we have an intake form that you fill out to tell us just about the team, how many agents, that kind of thing. And then we custom name a Google spreadsheet exactly like this that starts out blank, right? And then they fill that in with all of their agents, their units, volume GCI. And then once they fill that out, then we set the appointment. Anybody else?
Hey, I got to tell you guys, she's a miracle worker. And what I tell you is I just had one last week. I probably have 2 calls a week like this. And I said, we're going to set you up an appointment with Ashley Golladay. And I make her seem like she's awesome, which she is. But they do really want to see the numbers. And so, guys, it's the next appointment. It's the next appointment, right? Don't try to do the numbers yourself. It's yucky. Get them with her. Yes. Let's thank Ashley Golladay.